Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in a tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on the third day. We are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well today. I got 3 decodes for you today, and they're all connected to Skull and Bones. Of course, yesterday was Skull and Bones Day, March 22nd, 322, the number of Skull and Bones. So I got 3 different decodes that were in the news on March 22nd to talk about. First story, 3 teenagers killed and 15 people injured in mass shooting at New Mexico Park. We're also going to cover the death of U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, dead at 43. And we're also going to cover a story of a grandpa who was shot at a McDonald's in Houston. So 3 stories today. Hey, Smith W., much love. Good to see you. And Peggy, good morning. And guys, do me a favor, when you come in, please hit the like button. Very much appreciated. Helps out the algorithm. Helps more people find the video. And also, please hit the share button. That way we can get this out to more people. Hey, Mr. Aaron. How you doing? Alright, guys, we got a lot to talk about. So let's get started. And if you missed it, yesterday we covered George Foreman live. So make sure you watch that one. Hey, Raymond. How you doing? Hey, Most High Ministries, much love. Alright guys, just give me a second to get all set up. And we're going to start with the 3 teenagers killed in New Mexico. Hey Peggy, how you doing? Alright guys, here we go. 3 teenagers killed and 15 people injured in mass shooting at New Mexico Park. This article from 322, March 22nd. 322, the number of Skull and Bones. Alright guys, so we're going to break this down all by the numbers using gematria, which is simply letters as numerals. And once you learn the simple code of coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. So, this is a huge Skull and Bones ritual, and very obvious. And the first thing I want to point out, this was in the headlines on March 22nd, 322. That's the number of Skull and Bones, the Brotherhood of Death. And this actually happened on March 21st, on Friday night. Alright? But it was making the headlines on 322. But I want to show you, whether you look at it from Friday or Saturday, you still have a big connection to Skull and Bones besides the obvious 322, because the governor of New Mexico is Michelle Grisham. Michelle Grisham's birthday is October 24th. It says 3 people were killed and 15 were injured during a shooting at a park in Las Cruces, New Mexico, Friday night. Alright, so it was in the news on 322, but it happened on Friday. Well, including the end date, Friday, the day of the shooting, was 149 days from the governor's birthday. Why does that matter? Because all 3 victims were allegedly teenagers, which equals 149, like Skull and Bones equals 149. How about that? And then the day it was in the news, March 22nd, if you don't include the end date, it's still 149 days from her birthday. Alright, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. In the news on 322, the number of Skull and Bones, And it was in the news 149 days from the governor's birthday. Skull and Bones 149, teenagers 149. All right. Now, let's look deeper into the connections between that governor and Skull and Bones. So, the logo for Skull and Bones is skull and crossbones, right? Isn't it interesting that skull and crossbones equals 263, like the governor's name, Michelle Grisham, 263 in the same cipher. On top of that, Skull and Bones is known as the Brotherhood of Death. Brotherhood of Death equals 83, like the governor's name. Michelle Grisham is 83 in the same cipher. So we're building the case here, right? 149 days from her birthday, Skull and Bones 149. Michelle Grisham equals Skull and Crossbones, and Michelle Grisham equals Brotherhood of Death. Well, what if I told you this happened in Las Cruces, which equals 142, like the governor's name, Michelle Grisham is 142. And shout out to Decoding with Cody. Las Cruces means the crosses. The crosses, guys, like the crossbones. Skull and crossbones. What a perfect place for a skull and bones ritual. A place called the Crosses, right? That's literally the logo. The skull and crossbones. All right. Moving on. Not only does Las Cruces means the crosses, but Las Cruces equals 61. Skull and crossbones equals 61. And this might be the best find of the whole decode, and it's not even my find. Big shout out again to Decoding with Cody. And he discovered this yesterday. I don't know how he discovered this. Just amazing. Amazing find here by Cody. And this is the confirmation, all right? This is the big confirmation right here. So, long story short, guys, there was another mass shooting in Las Cruces, New Mexico. It was February 10th, 1990. It was the Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre. Okay, check this out. So the shooting happened on Friday, right? So if you go Friday, March 21st, including the end date, this mass shooting in Las Cruces happened 1,832 weeks and 0 days after the previous mass shooting in Las Cruces. Or, if you look at the date that it was in the news, March 22nd, and you don't include the end date, you could still say it was 1,832 weeks and 0 days from the last mass shooting in Las Cruces. Which, by the way, means the crosses, again. Guys, Skull and Bones was founded in 1832. And I'm going to drop the mic, and we'll drop it for Cody. Because it's Cody's find. Maybe Cody will pop in here. But anyways, isn't that unbelievable? I mean, how's that for a confirmation? This story was in the news on 3/22. There was a mass shooting in Las Cruces, New Mexico, 1,832 weeks ago. That's exactly when Skull and Bones was founded, 1832. So we should all be hitting the like button. We got 44 watching and 30 likes. We should have 44 likes right now. Because that right there is mathematically impossible to line up. Like, I'm not even done. And look at all these connections to Skull and Bones. It was in the news on 3/22. That's the number of Skull and Bones. 149 days from the governor's birthday. Skull and Bones 149. Teenagers 149. The governor's name equals Skull and Crossbones. The governor's name equals Brotherhood of Death. Michelle Grisham equals Las Cruces, which means the crosses, like Skull and Crossbones. Las Cruces 61, like Skull and Crossbones 61. And we had a mass shooting in Las Cruces 1,832 weeks ago, which is when Skull and Bones was founded. I mean, that's mathematically impossible. But wait, there's more. Because guess what? That shooting The Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre equals 110. Both of these shootings happened in Donna Ana County, New Mexico, which is 110. Like Skull and Crossbones is 110. How crazy is that? It's mathematically impossible to have all these connections to Skull and Bones. You know. 3 teenagers equals 97. This happened in Donna Ana County, New Mexico, 97. Death equals 97. Brotherhood of Death, 97. That's the nickname for Skull and Bones. Look at this. Las Cruces is located, this is from CNN. Las Cruces is located on the edge of the Chihuahuan Desert, around 41 miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border. So they throw the 41 in the article. I wonder why. Maybe because Skull and Bones equals 41? Right? So yeah, they mentioned the 41, like totally random fact, you know. It's around 41 miles from the border. Skull and Bones is 41, guys. That's why they put it in there. Now, how's this for a confirmation? This was a car show shooting, which equals 76, like Skull and Bones equals 76 in the same cipher. How about that? Sure, it's all coincidence. 3 killed, 15 injured in mass shooting at unsanctioned car show. See how they highlight unsanctioned car show, which is 107, like shooting is 107. This happened, this alleged killing happened in Young Park. Young Park, 115-43 killing. 115-43 Masonic, 115-43. Now check this out. We're making the Freemason connection here. And, you know, the motto of the Freemasons, order out of chaos, equals 222. Big number we talk about on this channel. Look what Mayor Eric Enriquez had to say. Las Cruces Mayor Eric Enriquez called the shooting a heinous act of violence, which equals 222, like Mayor Eric Enriquez is 222. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Like order out of chaos, 222. And this happened in New Mexico, which equals 666. And they just identified one of the suspects. They only named one of them, the 20-year-old. There's allegedly a 17-year-old suspect. They did not name him, so I'm only going to talk about what I know. And this is one of the suspects, Tomas Rivas, got the 38, right? The old 38. So the guy who did the killing, right, his name equals killing. What are the odds? Thomas Rivas, 38. Killing, 38. Death, 38. Murder, 38. All right, that is it for the first decode, but don't go anywhere yet. We got 2 more for you. And if anyone wants to support the channel, here's how you can do so, and very much appreciated. And I'll come back to this later when we do the recap. Okay, let's go to this McDonald story, which is just crazy coded. So this actually happened last week, right? But for some reason, I know the reason, because it's all skull and bone symbolism. For some reason, Fox News decided to run this story on March 22nd, 322, right? You know, 322, the Brotherhood of Death, right? Don't forget, I got to mention this since we're talking about skull and bones. Don't forget, the Georgia Guidestones went down on July 6, 7-6. They went down on George W. Bush's 76th birthday. Member of Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones equals 76. And the Guidestones are built under the alias R.C. Christian, which equals 76. We just had George Foreman die at 76 on the eve of Skull and Bones Day, right? And anyway, isn't it interesting that the Guidestones would go down on 7-6 when Skull and Bones equals 76, but they opened? The Guidestones opened on 3/22/1980. Isn't that fishy? Anyways, Check out this fishy story. Grandpa shot dead inside McDonald's in Blue City while getting Happy Meals for grandkids. Jorge Arbeza was killed at a Houston McDonald's as his wife grandkids watched helplessly from the car. So, March 22nd, Brotherhood of Death Day, got to put an article like this out. We need more fear, fear, fear. So, let's read this real quick. A Texas grandfather who was crazy for his grandkids is dead after getting caught in the crossfire of a gunfight while buying lunch at a popular fast food chain as his family waited outside. Jorge Arbeza, 61, was shot multiple times at a McDonald's restaurant in Houston Sunday, according to a statement from the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Arbeza was ordering Happy Meals for his two grandchildren when a gunfight between two groups of men broke out, ending with shots fired inside a restaurant filled with customers and their children, according to authorities. All right, here we go. So why did Fox News run this story on 322 about a man being killed in Houston? Maybe because Houston equals 322? What do you think? Maybe that's part of it? Yeah. So yeah, we get this article from Fox News on 322 about a shooting in Houston. Look at that. Houston equals 322. Wait a minute. You're telling me his name equals Skull and Bones? What? It's almost like news by the numbers. Jorge Arbeza equals 76, like Skull and Bones 76? And they run this story on 322 when Houston equals 322. Wow. Wait a minute. The grandpa is 61 years old? When grandpa is 61 and Skull and Crossbones is 61? My goodness. So the shooting happened while he was picking up Happy Meals. Happy Meals equals shooting. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Happy Meals, 44 shooting, 44 kill, 44. See how they put in quotation marks, crazy for his grandkids, which equals 109, like shooting, 109. This happened in a Blue City, which is 34, like grandpa, 34, murder, 34. Grandpa is also 38, like murder, 38, death, 38, killing, 38. Arbeza was killed at McDonald's. What are the odds that Arbeza equals McDonald's? Arbeza, 50. McDonald's, 50. Gun control, 50. Jesuits, 50. Speaking of those Jesuits, it happened in Harris County, which is 153 and 72, like Jesuit Order 153 and 72. McDonald's has the 158, like Freemasonry 158, and the motto of the Freemasons is order out of chaos, which equals 222, like McDonald's restaurant is 222. But yeah, the key point here, Skull and Bones connections. We get the article from Fox on 322. Houston is 322. His name equals Skull and Bones, and he's 61. Like Grandpa and Skull and Crossbones is 61. And Happy Meals equals shooting. So, more obvious news by the numbers. Now, for the longest decode of all, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 31. That would be 35 slides. So get comfy for this one. Here we go. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, I don't know if it's Aber or Aber, I don't know. But Jessica Aber, 43, found dead at Virginia residence. Jessica Aber, 43, was irreplaceable as a human being. Wait till you see what that equals. A former United States attorney was found dead in Virginia Saturday morning, just 2 months after leaving office. Jessica D. Aber, 43, worked as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia from 2021 to 2025, appointed by former President Joe Biden. She served in the role until resigning January 20th. In a news release Saturday, the Alexandria Police Department confirmed Aber's death, reporting it received a call about an unresponsive woman at around 9:18 a.m. Saturday. All right, this one is pretty wild. All right. And it's very, very obvious from the first slide, okay? Long story short, guys, this U.S. attorney was appointed by President Biden, okay? Check it out. They said in a news release Saturday, they confirmed her death, reporting it received a call about an unresponsive woman. All right, guys, this is all about an unresponsive woman who was appointed by Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. You ready for this? You ready for this, guys? She died on March 22nd, 322. This is all connected to Joe Biden, guys. She died 243 days before Joe Biden's birthday. Unresponsive woman, 243. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 243 in the same cipher, guys. That's what the whole story is about. The U.S. attorney who was appointed by Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. was found, and they put unresponsive woman in all the headlines. How do you explain that? And I'm sure it's a coincidence she died on 3/22, right? Wait till you see the skull and bones connections. But guys, that's pretty undeniable. I mean, I literally just solved a murder if she's really dead. Because, again, this is mathematically impossible. So I'm just over here, solving murders in my garage every day. No big deal. All credit to God, but is anybody trying to argue with this at this point after 5 years and 10,000 decodes and having my channel deleted 14 times? Am I crazy? Or are these people doing rituals by the numbers all day, every day? Because that's mathematically impossible. This whole thing is connected to Joe Biden. She was appointed by Joe Biden. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 243. Unresponsive woman, 243. She's dead 243 days before Biden's birthday. That is crazy. What do you mean? What if she's really dead? Well, some people believe that these celebrities don't really die. They go on to other roles. They play multiple characters. Some people think there's like a celebrity island where these people are hanging out, or they're in their bunkers, or, these are made-up characters from the jump. Some people would say, the character Jessica Aber was just somebody in a mask the whole time, and now she's moved on to, So I got to say that, because a lot of people, think that's possible. And I can't prove one way or another if these people are actually dead. All I can prove is that these are rituals. Mathematically impossible to not be a ritual. But anyways, that's the first slide. All right. Check this out. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, 325, like Joseph Robinette Biden, is 325. Jessica Diane Aber, 109. Joseph Robinette Biden, 109. Guys, she died on the 81st day of the year. Unresponsive woman, 81. President Biden, 81. Biden got 81 million votes, and she was born in the year 81. What are the odds? This is all connected to President Biden, right? What a perfect day for a ritual connected to President Biden on the 81st day of the year. Unresponsive woman, 81. Okay, now that you have that in your mind, let's go back here. Doesn't it make it even more clear now that the phrase unresponsive woman is also 243, like Biden's full name, dead 243 days from Biden's birthday? Right? It can't all be a coincidence every single day. How about this for a coincidence? She allegedly died in Alexandria, which has the 44 and the 64, like Joe Biden is 44 and 64. And the word kill is 44 and 64, like Alexandria. Look at this. She was the U.S. attorney. Attorney is 37 and 44, like Joe Biden is 37 and 44. That's wild. Attorney equals Joe Biden? But wait, there's more. This happened on Beverly Drive. She was found unresponsive in her home in the 900 block of Beverly Drive. Check it out, guys. Beverly Drive is 152, like Joe Biden is 152. Now, this might be the best part of the whole decode because it's so obvious. Okay, her last day in office, guys, was January 20th, 2025. Okay, she's dead 62 days later. Her name, Jessica Diane Aber, equals 62. Like sacrifice is 62, guys. How do you explain that? She's dead just 62 days after leaving office and her name equals 62? Like sacrifice? You could also say she's dead 8 weeks and 6 days after leaving office. To 86, someone means to get rid of them. Human sacrifice and blood sacrifice, 86. United States Attorney, 121, like blood sacrifice, 121. She was in office from October 12th, 2021 to January 20th, 2025. She was in office for 170 weeks. The word sacrifice equals 170. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber is also 170, like sacrifice. Jessica Aber has the 38. We just talked about it with the New Mexico shooting. Remember the suspect's name was 38? Here we got the victim's name, 38. Jessica Aber, 38. Killing, 38. Death, 38. Murder, 38. Look at the Murder by Numbers movie poster. The E is changed to a 3. The B is changed to an 8 because murder is 38. Now, here's where we start to get to the skull and bones connection. Because skull and bones is known as the Brotherhood of Death, which equals 97. This happened in Alexandria, Virginia, which equals 97. And it happened on 322. That's the number of skull and bones. And death is also 97. This happened in Alexandria, Virginia, which is considered a suburb of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. has the 187, like Brotherhood of Death. 187, that's skull and bones. Washington, D.C. is also 61, like skull and crossbones is 61. She died 41 months after becoming a U.S. attorney. Well, look at that. U.S. attorney is 41, skull and bones is 41 in the same cipher, and she's dead on 322. Look at this, guys. She died on Beverly Drive in Alexandria, Virginia. I looked it up just out of curiosity. Look at the zip code of where she died, guys. 22302. Look at that. She's got the 223 in the zip code where she died on 322, guys. 223 is the backwards 322. Skull and crossbones is 223. But wait, there's more, because former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber is 2203. And you know, you drop the 0, right? So you got the 2203, the backwards 322, like Masonic is 223, skull and crossbones 223, and again, the zip code where she died, 223. I mean, that's a lot to be a coincidence. So here's where we start getting into the Masonic connections, because she's dead at 43. Killing, 43. Masonic, 43. Freemasons, 43. Washington, D.C., 56. Masonic ritual, 56. Freemasons, 56. Jessica D. Aber, 96 and 42, like Freemason, 96 and 42. U.S. Attorney, 158 and 58, like Freemasonry. Look at the quote from Fox News. See how they highlight irreplaceable as a human being? Well, there's that 222 again. Like Order Out of Chaos 222, and her last name Aber is also 222. Now, we talked about the 62 earlier, but I want to tie it to Masonry a little bit. So she died 62 days after leaving office. Her name equals 62, like sacrifice 62. Mason is also 62, all right? And Mason is also 17 and 28, like her last name Aber is 1728. And Kill is 17 and 28. So Aber equals Kill and Mason. Jessica Diane Aber, 307, like Freemason, 307. And back to the 81s. I want to tie that to Masonry too. Unresponsive woman, 81 on the 81st day of the year. Remember, she was born in 81. This is all connected to President Biden, 81, who got 81 million votes. The Illuminati, 81. Ritual, 81. Masons, 81. Now, speaking of the Illuminati, how interesting that this unresponsive woman was found at 918. The Illuminati, 918, Jesuit order equals 918. And Pope Francis, the Jesuit, the head of the Catholic Church, this happened 96 days from his birthday. Jessica D. Aber is 96. And Jessica D. Aber is 42. 84, like Jesuit, is 42. 84. And Jessica Aber is also 79, like Society of Jesus, 79. That's the Jesuits. Murder, 79. And this happened in Alexandria, which is a suburb of Washington, D.C., which has the 56 and the 187, like Society of Jesus, 56, 187, that's the Jesuits. And another Jesuit connection, Jessica D. Aber, 84, Jesuit 84, the Jesuit order 84. All right, that is it, guys. But the key points here on this one, obviously the 243, this is all connected to Biden. I mean, that's just undeniable. Unresponsive woman, they highlight it right here, unresponsive woman, 243, like Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 243, she died 243 days from Biden's birthday. And then look at all these other connections to Biden. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, 325, Joseph Robinette Biden, 325. Jessica Diana Aber, 109, Joseph Robinette Biden, 109. Unresponsive woman, 81, on the 81st day of the year, like President Biden, 81, who got 81 million votes. Alexandria, 44 and 64, like Joe Biden. Attorney, 3744, like Joe Biden. Beverly Drive, 152, like Joe Biden. Like, dead 62 days after she left office, Jessica Diane Aber, 62, like Sacrifice. It's just absolutely undeniable. All right, let me go back to New Mexico. We'll do a quick recap on that, and then we'll wrap it up. And thank you guys for hitting the like button and the share. Very much appreciated. But yeah, let's go back to New Mexico real quick in case you came in late. Long story short, this happened on Friday night, but we got the news on Saturday, March 22nd. 3 teenagers killed, 15 people injured in mass shooting at New Mexico Park. In the news on 322. And it happened. You could say it happened 149 days from the governor's birthday. Or you could say it was in the news 149 days from the governor's birthday. Teenagers, 149. Skull and Bones, 149. The governor's name, Michelle Grisham, equals Skull and Crossbones. The governor's name equals Brotherhood of Death. That's Skull and Bones. This happened in Las Cruces, 142, like the governor's name, Michelle Grisham, 142. Las Cruces means the crosses, like Skull and Bones, right? Skull and Crossbones. Las Cruces, 61, Skull and Crossbones, 61. Big find by Decoding with Cody. They had another mass shooting in Las Cruces back on February 10th, 1990. Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre, that happened 1,800 And 32 weeks ago, that's exactly when Skull and Bones was founded. 1832. How crazy is that? Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre, 110. This happened in Donna Ana County, New Mexico, 110. That's where both of the shootings happened. That's where Las Cruces is located. And Skull and Crossbones, 110. 3 teenagers, 97. Donna Ana County, New Mexico, 97. Death, 97. Brotherhood of Death, 97. This happened 41 miles north of the border. Skull and Bones, 41. Car show shooting, 76, like Skull and Bones, 76. Unsanctioned car show, 107, shooting 107. Happened in Young Park, which equals killing, and Masonic, right? And actually, for the record, Freemasons is also 115 and 43. Let me show you that. See how Freemasons is also 115 and 43? So Freemasons 115-43, Masonic 115-43, Killing 115-43, Young Park 115-43. And then speaking of Freemasons, right, the Freemason motto, Order Out of Chaos, 222. We heard from Mayor Eric Enriquez, 222. We called it a heinous act of violence, 222. Happened in New Mexico, 666. And the suspect's name equals 38, like killing, death, and murder. And if anybody would like to support the channel, here's how you can do so. Any support, very much appreciated. This is my full-time job. I am not monetized by YouTube, so thank you so much for keeping me going all these years. You guys are amazing. All right, let me turn this around. Well, I got done with that quicker than I thought. Not too bad. 37 minutes and 3 decodes plus a recap. All right, well, we'll keep this one nice and short. Anybody have anything that I missed? Let me know. Hey, Casey. Hey, Mike. Hey, In Not Of. Hey, Caleb. Hey, Betty. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Trinity. Hey, Dustin. Hey, Connie. Hey, Lorenzo. Thank you guys for hanging out today. I appreciate it. Hey, Patrick. Much love, brother. Good to see you. But yeah, what do you know? Three headlines on 322, all connected to Skull and Bones. Who would have thought? Hey, Leslie. How you doing? But yeah, that's what I got for you for now. By the way, if you missed it, we found a big find at the end of the George Foreman video yesterday. It was actually after I already did the recap. We found something. Long story short, George Foreman's daughter died 222 days from her birthday, and George Foreman equals 222. So that was at the end yesterday if you missed it. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And thank you for being here today. Thank you for hanging out and being part of the channel. You guys are awesome. And please do me a favor on the way out. Please hit the like and the share. Very much appreciated. And as always, keep looking up. We are living in the biblical end of days. Jesus is coming very soon. I can't wait. And I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless.